If your doctor recently told you that your creatinine is climbing higher than it should be, or if you've been waking up in the morning noticing that your urine looks foamy, almost like the top of a freshly poured beer, or maybe you've been getting up 2, 3, even 4 times a night to use the bathroom, and you've been feeling more tired, more drained, more worn out than you know you should be at this stage of your life, then I need you to do something for me right now. I need you to stop scrolling. Put the phone down flat for just a moment, take a breath, and give me the next few minutes of your full attention, because what I'm about to share with you could genuinely change the direction your kidney health is heading, and I don't say that lightly. My name is Dr. Ryan Foster, and I've spent over 25 years working as a nephrologist. That's the medical term for a kidney specialist. In those 2.5 decades, I've sat across the desk from thousands of patients, many of them right here in the United States, and a great many of them seniors just like you. They came into my office frightened, confused, holding lab results they didn't understand, unsure of what their future looked like, and unsure of what, if anything, they could actually do to help themselves. And there's one question I hear almost every single week, sometimes several times a week. Patients look at me and they ask, "Dr. Foster, is there anything at all, that I can eat to help my kidneys?" And my answer today to you is yes. Absolutely, unequivocally yes. But, and this is important, it depends. It depends on what you're eating, how you're preparing it, and how much of it you're putting on your plate. Now, let me be honest with you, because you deserve honesty. There's something about the internet that genuinely worries me, and it worries me as a physician who has taken an oath to do no harm. There are countless videos and websites out there right now making absolutely wild, irresponsible claims. Cure your kidneys in 3 days. Drink this one mysterious juice and watch your creatinine drop overnight. Reverse kidney disease completely with this secret remedy. I want to be crystal clear with you. That is not what this video is. I'm a doctor. I take my responsibility to you and to every person watching with the utmost seriousness. What I'm going to share with you today is rooted in real science, in published peer-reviewed research, and in the guidelines put forward by respected organizations like the National Kidney Foundation and the Mayo Clinic. There are no miracle cures here. There are no exaggerations. There is only the truth. And here's the beautiful thing. The truth, when you actually understand it and apply it, is powerful enough on its own. You don't need the lies, you need the facts. So here is exactly what we're going to cover together today. The top 5 vegetables, backed by genuine clinical evidence, that can help support your kidney function, reduce the daily burden placed on your kidneys, and in many cases help to stabilize or gradually bring down elevated creatinine levels when they're combined with the right lifestyle changes. And I'm going to give you something that almost every other video on this topic completely leaves out, something that could be sabotaging your efforts even when you're eating all the right foods. I'm talking about the preparation mistakes. The ways of cooking and preparing these vegetables that can actually make things worse for your kidneys, even though the vegetable itself is healthy. Stay with me all the way through, because that part alone could be the game changer you've been searching for without even knowing it. But before we dive in, I want to ask you to do something for me. If you've been told your creatinine sits above 1.2, or if you've been handed a GFR number that's fallen below 60, I want you to go down to the comments right now and tell me where you're at. Just type your creatinine number, or type stage 3 or stage 4, whatever your doctor has told you. I read these comments myself. My team reads them too. And your story, the number you type, might just reach someone else who is watching this exact video tonight, sitting alone in their kitchen, feeling scared and completely isolated. You are not alone in this. Millions of Americans are managing exactly what you're managing, and we're going to walk through it together, side by side. All right, let's get into the 5 vegetables, and I promise you, number 3 is going to catch you off guard. Most people are convinced it's bad for the kidneys. The science tells a very different story once you understand how to use it correctly. Vegetable number 1 is red cabbage. Now, this is a vegetable almost nobody mentions when they talk about kidney health, and honestly that's a real shame, because red cabbage might be one of the most kidney-friendly, creatinine-supportive vegetables you can find in any grocery store in America. And here's the kicker. It costs almost nothing. But before I explain why it's so remarkable, let me first explain what creatinine actually is, because I want you to understand the reasoning behind everything we discuss today, not just take my word for it. Creatinine is a waste product. It's produced naturally in your body when your muscles break down a substance called creatine, which they rely on for energy. Your kidneys are the organs responsible for filtering that creatinine out of your blood and flushing it out through your urine. When your kidneys are functioning well, your creatinine levels stay in a normal range, roughly 0.7 to 1.2 milligrams per deciliter for most adults. But when the kidneys begin to struggle, whether from chronic kidney disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, or a combination of factors, they simply can't filter as efficiently anymore, and so creatinine starts to accumulate in the blood. That rising number on your lab report isn't just a statistic, it's a signal. It's your kidneys, in their own quiet way, telling you they need your help. So why is red cabbage so valuable here? There are three main reasons, and I want to walk you through each one carefully. First, red cabbage is remarkably low in potassium. This is critically important for anyone with chronic kidney disease, because damaged kidneys often struggle to get rid of excess potassium. When potassium builds up in the blood, a condition called hyperkalemia, it can cause muscle weakness, dangerous heart rhythm problems, and in severe cases it can be life-threatening. Many otherwise healthy vegetables, like potatoes, tomatoes, and fruits like bananas, are absolutely loaded with potassium and can actually be harmful in the higher stages of kidney disease. Red cabbage, on the other hand, contains only about 170 milligrams of potassium per half-cup serving. That's genuinely low. It's a vegetable you can enjoy without constantly stressing over whether your potassium is about to spike. Second, red cabbage is low in phosphorus, and this matters just as much. When kidneys start to decline, they also lose the ability to properly remove phosphorus from the blood. High phosphorus levels slowly pull calcium out of your bones, weakening them over time. It also leads to calcification of your blood vessels, which is one of the reasons kidney patients face a higher risk of heart problems. Red cabbage delivers real nutrition without burdening you with excess phosphorus. And third, this is where it gets genuinely exciting from a clinical standpoint. Red cabbage is packed with anthocyanins. These are the natural pigments that give it that deep, beautiful purple-red color, and they are powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. Research published in journals like the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology has shown that inflammation plays a central ongoing role in the progression of chronic kidney disease. It isn't only about filtration. It's about inflammation within the kidney tissue itself, accelerating the damage over time. Anthocyanins help interrupt that inflammatory process. They can't rebuild what's already been lost, but they may help slow the pace of further damage, and that matters tremendously for your long-term trajectory. Now here's the practical side, and the mistake I see patients make constantly. They steam red cabbage until it's completely soft and mushy. That's not ideal. When you overcook red cabbage, you significantly degrade its anthocyanin content because heat breaks down those delicate pigments. The best way to get the maximum benefit is to eat it either raw, shredded into a salad or slaw, or lightly steamed for just 2 to 4 minutes so it holds onto its color and its crunch. If the color shifts from vibrant purple to a dull blue-gray, you've overcooked it. That's your visual warning sign. I also want to mention something almost nobody talks about. Red cabbage is mildly alkalizing in the body. Some research suggests that managing the acid-base balance in your blood, a condition called metabolic acidosis, is genuinely important for kidney patients because that acidosis can actually accelerate kidney decline. A diet rich in plant-based alkalizing foods like red cabbage may help buffer against it. A serving 3 to 4 times a week is a realistic, affordable, kidney-friendly goal. Vegetable number 2 is cauliflower, and I already know what some of you are thinking. Cauliflower, really, Dr. Foster? That's your big reveal? But stick with me, because the reason cauliflower earns its place on this list goes far deeper than most people realize, and there's a specific preparation method that dramatically multiplies its benefits. Cauliflower has become trendy lately as a low-carb stand-in for rice and mashed potatoes, but for kidney patients its real value goes well beyond carbohydrates. Let's talk about the 3 pillars of why cauliflower is exceptional. First, like red cabbage, it's low in both potassium and phosphorus. A half-cup serving of cooked cauliflower contains roughly 88 milligrams of potassium and only about 22 milligrams of phosphorus. Those numbers are among the lowest of any vegetable you can find, which is precisely why the National Kidney Foundation specifically lists cauliflower as a kidney-friendly food in its dietary guidance. When your kidneys are struggling, every milligram of potassium and phosphorus you can reduce gives them a little more breathing room to do their job. Second, cauliflower contains a remarkable group of compounds called glucosinolates, which your body breaks down into indoles and isothiocyanates. These compounds have been studied for their ability to reduce oxidative stress, and here's why that matters so much for your creatinine. Oxidative stress damages the tiny filtering units inside your kidneys, the nephrons. Once a nephron is damaged beyond repair, it cannot regenerate. The kidneys are one of the very few organs in the human body that simply cannot regrow their functional units, so protecting the nephrons you still have from oxidative damage isn't just helpful, it's foundational to any strategy for preserving kidney function long-term. Third, and this is the point very few people ever discuss, cauliflower is a meaningful source of choline, a B vitamin-like nutrient. Emerging research suggests choline plays a role in reducing urinary protein excretion. That's proteinuria, the foamy urine that many of you watching right now may be dealing with every single morning. Proteinuria isn't just a symptom, it's an independent risk factor for the progression of kidney disease. High protein in the urine means the kidney's filtration barrier is damaged and leaking. Now, the preparation. Here's the mistake I want you to avoid. Many people boil cauliflower in a big pot of water and keep that water or use it in their dish. The problem is boiling leaches both potassium and the beneficial phytochemicals right out into the water. The best methods for kidney patients are roasting in the oven with a light drizzle of olive oil, or steaming, where the water doesn't sit in prolonged contact with the vegetable. If you do boil it, drain and discard that water, because that actually helps pull out potassium, which can be a benefit if your levels are running high. Always ask your nephrologist or renal dietitian whether leaching is right for you specifically. I once cared for a 68-year-old gentleman from Tennessee, retired, managing stage 3 CKD alongside type 2 diabetes, with creatinine hovering around 1.9. He came to me frustrated, trying so hard to eat healthy, but constantly making potassium-related mistakes. We rebuilt his plate around cauliflower and red cabbage, added proper hydration and good medication management, and over 6 months his creatinine stabilized at 1.7 and his energy came roaring back. Diet alone didn't do it, but diet was absolutely part of the equation. 3 to 5 servings a week, roasted or steamed, is an excellent target. Vegetable number 3 is garlic. I promised you number 3 would surprise you, and here it is. Now, I know that when many of you hear the word garlic in the context of kidneys, your first instinct might be worry. You've been told to watch your diet carefully, and garlic sounds intense, almost medicinal. But here's what the science actually shows, and this is a genuinely underreported area of nephrology nutrition research. Garlic is not just safe for most kidney patients. When used correctly, it is actively kidney supportive. The primary active compound in garlic is allicin, which is produced when raw garlic is crushed or chopped, allowing two internal substances, alliin and the enzyme allinase, to react with one another. Allicin is a potent anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial compound, but for kidney patients, what matters most is its demonstrated ability to lower blood pressure and reduce systemic inflammation, two of the most critical drivers of kidney disease progression. Let me be very direct. The number 1 cause of chronic kidney disease in the United States is diabetes, and the number 2 cause is high blood pressure, hypertension. If your blood pressure stays chronically elevated, it damages the delicate blood vessels that feed and surround your nephrons, slowly strangling your kidney's ability to filter. Any safe, food-based intervention that meaningfully lowers blood pressure carries direct kidney protective implications. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Nutrition examined multiple controlled trials and found that garlic produced statistically significant reductions in both systolic and diastolic pressure in people with hypertension, roughly 4 to 8 millimeters of mercury. It's modest, yes, but sustained over months and years, that matters enormously. It's additive with your medication, not a replacement for it. Garlic also has antifibrotic properties, and this is the part most people have never heard about. Kidney disease, especially in later stages, involves a process called fibrosis, where healthy functional tissue gets replaced by scar tissue that cannot filter your blood. Animal studies and emerging human research have identified that certain sulfur compounds in garlic may help inhibit the cells responsible for that fibrotic process. The research is still developing, and I won't overstate it, but the pathway is plausible and genuinely interesting. Now here's the preparation insight almost no video shares. The allicin in garlic is only fully activated if you crush or chop it and then wait about 10 minutes before heating it. If you toss a whole clove straight into a hot pan, the enzyme is immediately denatured by the heat before it can produce allicin. You get the flavor, but you lose much of the therapeutic benefit. So crush or finely chop your garlic, let it rest for 10 minutes at room temperature, then add it to your cooking. That simple wait can dramatically increase the beneficial compounds that survive. 1 to 2 cloves of fresh garlic per day is appropriate for most people. Garlic powder and especially garlic salt are not equivalent, and garlic salt adds sodium, which you absolutely must minimize. And if you're on blood thinners like warfarin or Plavix, or you're in advanced stage 4 or 5 CKD, please talk to me or your own nephrologist before making changes, because garlic has mild anticoagulant properties and advanced CKD nutrition is far more individualized. Before we get to vegetables 4 and 5, and I'll be honest, those are the ones my patients ask me the most follow-up questions about, I need to pause and ask you a small favor. If this information has been helpful, if you've learned something new, if this feels like the kind of clear, honest, respectful medical content you've been looking for, please tap the like button right now. I mean it sincerely. That one simple action tells the platform to share this video with more seniors sitting at home tonight, confused about their lab results, afraid, and not knowing what to eat. Your like could reach someone who desperately needs this. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're working toward 100,000 subscribers, and every single one represents a person choosing to take their kidney health seriously. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and down in the comments, tell me which of these vegetables you already eat and which one has surprised you most so far. Vegetable number 4 is the red bell pepper. This one has a particularly interesting story because it's one of the most nutrient-dense vegetables you can eat, yet it's low in almost everything kidney patients need to restrict. I call it the precision vegetable. It gives you extraordinary nutritional value with minimal metabolic cost to your kidneys. Red bell peppers are extraordinarily high in vitamin C. One medium red bell pepper contains around 190 milligrams, more than double the daily recommended intake. And before you worry about vitamin C and kidney stones, let me clear up a confusion I hear constantly. The research linking vitamin C to stones applies primarily to very high-dose supplementation, 1,000 milligrams or more from pills. Dietary vitamin C from whole vegetables does not carry the same risk for most people, and the benefits are significant because your kidneys are permeated with blood vessels highly vulnerable to oxidative damage from free radicals. Vitamin C is one of the most potent water-soluble antioxidants in human nutrition. It neutralizes those free radicals, protects the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels, and supports the structural integrity of kidney tissue. A study published in Kidney International found that lower vitamin C levels were associated with greater prevalence of kidney dysfunction. Red bell peppers also provide lycopene, the same antioxidant found in tomatoes, and studied for its protective effects on the cardiovascular system. Now, tomatoes are usually restricted in kidney diets because of their potassium, but red bell peppers give you that lycopene with a far friendlier potassium load, about 250 milligrams per medium pepper compared to over 400 in a medium tomato. That difference matters when you're managing a daily potassium budget. They're also virtually free of significant phosphorus, and they contain fiber that supports gut health. This deserves more attention than it gets. Emerging research from institutions like the Cleveland Clinic has highlighted the gut-kidney axis, the relationship between your gut bacteria and your kidney health. When the gut microbiome becomes imbalanced, a state called dysbiosis, certain bacteria produce uremic toxins like indoxyl sulfate that get absorbed into the bloodstream and further damage the kidneys. A diet rich in plant fiber feeds beneficial bacteria and may reduce the production of those toxins. The preparation insight is simple, but often missed. Raw red bell peppers give you the highest vitamin C because vitamin C is heat-sensitive and degrades with cooking. A chopped raw pepper eaten as a snack with a little hummus or added raw to a salad is nutritionally superior to a roasted one if vitamin C is your goal. If you do prefer them cooked, use quick, high-heat methods like a 2 or 3 minute sauté rather than long, slow roasting to preserve more of the nutrients. Aim for half to 1 full red bell pepper per day. It's sweet, it's palatable, and unlike some vegetables on this list, most seniors genuinely enjoy it, even those whose taste preferences have shifted due to age or medications. Vegetable number 5 is asparagus, and I want to spend a little extra time here because there's a nuance I see misunderstood both online and, frankly, sometimes in clinical settings. Asparagus has a complicated reputation. Most of you know it makes your urine smell different. Some of you have heard it's a diuretic and wonder whether that's safe for your kidneys, and some of you may even have been told to avoid it entirely. Let me address each of these carefully because the science tells a more encouraging story than you might expect. First, the diuretic question. Asparagus does have gentle diuretic properties, mediated in part by a compound called asparagine, which is actually what asparagus is named after. For kidney patients who are retaining fluid, experiencing edema, that swelling in the legs or ankles, or who have blood pressure related to fluid overload, a gentle, natural diuretic can genuinely be supportive. It is not the same as a prescription diuretic, and it should never replace medication your doctor has prescribed, but as a dietary component, asparagus can gently encourage urinary flow, which supports your kidney's ability to excrete waste products, including creatinine. Now, here's a critically important caution. If you're on potassium-sparing diuretics like spironolactone, or if you already have high potassium, please talk to me or your own doctor before significantly increasing asparagus, because it can affect your electrolyte balance. This is exactly why individual medical guidance matters, and why I always encourage patients to bring a full list of their foods and supplements to their nephrology appointments. Asparagus also contains glutathione, one of the most powerful antioxidants produced within the human body, and it's one of the few dietary sources of preformed glutathione, meaning you can actually absorb a meaningful amount straight from the food. Glutathione is involved in protecting kidney cells from toxin-induced damage, a mechanism studied in the context of contrast nephropathy, medication-induced kidney injury, and the chronic oxidative damage of CKD. Research published in the Journal of Renal Nutrition and related publications has consistently found that higher antioxidant capacity is associated with slower disease progression. And asparagus is also a source of folate, a B vitamin that supports red blood cell production. This matters particularly for kidney patients because anemia, a low red blood cell count, is one of the most common and debilitating complications of CKD. Healthy kidneys produce a hormone called erythropoietin, or EPO, that tells your bone marrow to make red blood cells. As kidney function declines, EPO production drops, and anemia follows. While asparagus cannot replace medical treatment for anemia in advanced disease, dietary folate supports the production side of that equation, and that's genuinely meaningful in the earlier stages. So there you have it. 5 vegetables, red cabbage, cauliflower, garlic, red bell pepper, and asparagus, each one backed by real science, each one affordable and available at your local store, and each one capable of supporting your kidneys when prepared the right way and combined with the lifestyle changes your doctor recommends. Remember, this is not about miracles. It's about consistency, about giving your kidneys a little more breathing room every single day, meal after meal, week after week. If you found this helpful, please leave your creatinine number or your stage down in the comments so we can support each other. Tap that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next video, where I'll walk you through the specific morning habits that quietly accelerate kidney decline, habits your doctor may never have mentioned. Take care of yourself, be gentle with your body, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Dr. Ryan Foster, and I'm proud of you for taking your kidney health seriously today.